Welcome to the Bougie Black Brother Network. Welcome back to Car Wax in our second half with our review, with our collaboration. And I'm still here with the Bougie Brother Sean. What up, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Back again.
Back again. So, this was something Sean and I was talking about when we heard that, hey, Madlib is doing an album with Freddie Gibbs. And last year, he had that release out that I was like, man, I like this dude. And you said, yeah, I sent you one before that, and you was like, get that shit out of here. And I was like, yeah, because I really didn't like it. I didn't like that one. But this one, I liked. And you clearly was saying, yo, the dude is good. The dude is good. Not great. Really does some good shit. You know, he's playful with a lot of stuff that he done. And this one was Freddie with the Teddy Pendergrass album and shit. Cover, you know what I mean? So, yep. But after that, then it was the Fetty. Remember?
Yep. He dropped the Fetty, yeah. So he was hot last year.
With Currency, and the Alchemist did like the beats or some shit with that.
So last year was our first year of talking about Freddie. Mm-hmm. No. It was the year before last. You right?
No, but I don't think we rated that. I think
we did rate it. I introduced you to him, and you, like you said, and then okay. So we've known of Freddie for 2 years, but you've been listening to him for 1 year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I was, and what turned me on, I liked them on Currency, with him and Currency with the Fetty. I liked it. I didn't think it really showcased him enough. And I think, because I was listening to some of our podcasts, and I was kind of like, yeah, he needs some better beats. You know what I mean? He definitely needs some better beats, and just a good producer that he can play off.
Right.
So then when I heard he was going to be with Madlib, I was like, whoa, how did that happen? And it was weird because they said they did an album together or some cuts together earlier. Mm-hmm. And I was like, whoa, I didn't know that. And I didn't get a chance to listen to that one. But they became like personal friends and shit. And they was hanging and they was trying to get something together. And I'm not sure if you heard this story, but he was touring in, I think, Austria, and he got arrested for rape.
And didn't even know the woman. But he
stayed in prison for like a couple of months on a rape charge, and he was supposed to do an album with Madlib, and he didn't know if he would be in jail for that charge or he would get out. So he started memorizing Madlib's beats and start writing, and he was writing it so fast. He was like, man, I gotta get this out. And he said, if you listen to the album, you'll see the rapidness of how he was rapping on here compared to the way he used to. And that was something that was weird to me, because I was kind of like, why is he rushing some of this shit? Because he was going a little faster than he normally would.
Right.
But it was based on his experience when he was writing it when he was in jail. And I was like, oh, okay. Good context. You know what I mean? Because if you didn't know that, you would probably go, the fuck is, did y'all get this together? Did y'all really hear what was going on? But that was purposeful, that he did that with a purpose. And now that I understood it, I started listening to it again, and I was like, oh, okay. He was kind of rapid firing on a couple of things because, you could see the urgency of what he was doing and all. So I found that to be really interesting. And going back with Madlib, so I really listened to a lot of Madlib's instrumental albums. So so he was with the JD shit and Jay Dilla and a couple of those guys from Detroit. So he was doing a lot of stuff like them. And, I listened to him and Raz G and Lotus, Flying Lotus. And he was just one of those guys that did some odd shit. He did a soundtrack album he wanted somebody to make a movie so he can use that music for a movie, and he just made a soundtrack, and it was fucking amazing. But he never got a movie to go with that. So I remember the little things that he did. He did an album with Indian beats and samples with people talking that Indian dialect and stuff like that. And the creative way this guy does things is like amazing. So I really was waiting to hear this album. But that was my intro to before I even cut it on. Because as soon as you said, oh, it's coming out this weekend, I was like, I'm on it. I just had to hear it. I definitely had to hear it. But and the album is Bandana. And Bandana. Damn, I said Bandana. Ain't no R in that bitch.
Do
Bandana.
you know the name of that Indian instrumental album? Because I'm highly interested in that. Because I want to actually go ahead and break down those samples. You know, I sent you a couple samples.
Yeah. That's that first
we'll
one
get
was
into that.
shit,
We'll
though.
get into that.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
So I'll find that. But yeah, that I actually kept that. So when I look it up, and for Madlib, I can actually tell you the other one that I didn't get was the one with the soundtrack, because that's the one that I kind of missed. But yeah, man. So that was my introduction to getting ready to listen to this. So what was your background before this came in, or before you start listening? What was your expectation and stuff before we get into the album?
I've been rocking with Freddie Gibbs for about 6 years. He had an album and a mixtape called Babyface Killer. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, this is really nice. He has this solid in the pocket flow. He wasn't as fast as you were saying. I'll get into that, but I kind of liked him. You know, then I heard he went overseas and got locked up for a fake rape. You know, and when he came back, he immediately dropped the album. And that album, personally, I feel like it was straight. I think it was called like One Life to Live or something like that. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I'm just still, you know, keeping him around, keeping him in the pocket. You know, so when I started hearing about this new album, I was kind of like, okay, cool. I just hope this is better than the last one. Because the last one I wasn't too fond of.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It could have been better. Oh, You Only Live Twice. That was the one that he dropped right after he got out of jail. But rumor has it he started recording this album in 2017. Actually, it's no rumor. There's footage of him in the studio with Madlib and Madlib's team.
Okay.
And like him working these beats and him basically writing down and, you know, kind of in this zone that he's in. And you're absolutely right. The whole album is actually like, a lot of the whole album is actually rapid fire. And I like the fact that the whole album is like that.
Gotcha.
It's not like, oh, well, he kind of slowed down a little too much here. It's like, no, I'm on these beats. Mm-hmm. I'm on all these beats. Mm-hmm. You know, like the beat is just coming on and I'm on it. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready. Right. Like, ha. You know,
I'm eating it.
Right. So he almost get a perfect 10 for that, because he was spotless, man. He was on these beats. He was harmonizing on them. He was bringing back his old Crazy Bone Thugs and Harmony, little harmonized. That shit was perfect, man. But he's been doing that.
Right.
You know, he's like that melody rap shit. He caught on to that back, like I said, 6 years ago when I was listening to him. He had a lot of little tracks. He had a song with Crazy Bone back in the day. Okay. Yes. So he's been on this. So I was like, okay, this should be interesting. It should be very interesting. Now, my Madlib story is, Madlib's rapper name is called Quasimodo.
Oh.
And he has albums out. Yeah. And these albums are low-key like Slick Rick albums, like stories. Mm-hmm. He uses 2 different voices. And it's a little odd. You know, I remember driving on a road trip and my homeboy was listening. He was like, look, I'm probably like on one of the second Quasimodo albums, or like deep into the first album. He's like, bro, you got to turn this off. Look, man, I'm not down with this whack music you be playing, bruh. I'm looking at him like, dang, you don't even know who this is.
What the fuck wrong with you?
You don't even know who this is. He's like, look, I don't care. Just put something else on.
Right.
I was like, man. So, he is definitely an acquired taste when it comes to his rapper side. His beats are so hard. His beats are hard. So I just enjoy him and the way he goes back and forth talking to himself, but it's not, it's cool. It's cool. I enjoy it.
Got it. So
definitely enjoy his Quasimodo side. So I was like, when I was seeing them promote it, he was promoting his Quasimodo character with the zebras.
Okay.
That Quasimodo, that yellow dude is him. It's the character that is the artist. I guess.
With that little horn or whatever snout.
Yeah, and the big long, and then big long Q-Bert nose.
Yeah, Q-Bert.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
It's Q-Bert with legs and arms. Yeah. So, but anyways, so I was like, okay, this should be good. And then he started throwing out little samples of the beats coming out, and I was like, oh, okay, this should be nice. This should be real, real nice. So I had some fair expectations of this before it came out.
Okay. So if you go back, it's Beat Conductor with a K. Beat Conductor, Volume 1 and 2. That's the album. That's the movie one that he tried to do. And if you hear the beats on there, this shit is fucking awesome. But the one I was talking about is Beat Conductor 3 and 4 in India. When you hear that, it's going to be like, damn, why the fuck did you do that? But the way he used these Indian beats was like fucking amazing, dude. Really amazing. This dude is really, really talented. And what he does, because sometimes I was kind of disappointed because it seemed like he uses the whole sample of the album, but he doesn't.
No, he don't.
He does it in a way that it seems like it's the whole thing, but when you try to hear where he got it from, you kind of be like, whoa, oh, okay. Oh, damn, that's kind of hot. All right. And he's really, really good with that. And he does a lot of stuff with a lot of people too. So you would see him low key with a couple of albums, but also, his name will be like Mad Villainy. I had some samples from that. Mad Villainy, and then there was another one. Fortet did some remixes, and the Fortet was really cool. So that's like some instrumental shit that they did too. So he does a whole bunch of little things with a lot of people. And you don't really know who he is until you hear these soulful type beats or something that's like in the 50s or the 60s or that 70s beat when you looking at these black exploitation movies. And that's the kind of shit that he puts out, but he makes it sound so fucking well. So yeah, so that was me with Madlib, because me, I'm always listening to producers. I'm always seeing, I want to hear creators, because the way they create, you never know where it came from. He doesn't do a lot of samples on samples on samples on samples. He uses sample but makes it work and may add a couple of things in there, but he makes it work. So he's not a multi-sample person that you would say, oh, okay, I see what you're doing. It's not that. But when I heard this Bandana, I was kind of like, okay, let's see what's up. I was excited, but I didn't want to get too excited because I didn't want to be like let down.
Right.
But I wasn't let down. and most of the reviews is like fucking album of the year. And if you really tie it into listening to Freddie and then listening to the fucking beats, it's not a lot that can fucking go up against this, dude. It's not a lot. I really enjoyed the hell out of it. And I loved the fact that Freddie was so comfortable with how the beats were and how he rapped. Basically like what you were saying. It started off with that crazy Abrigato, and then my nigga saw.
But he was actually speaking English the whole time.
Nah, that was Japanese, dude.
Nope. When you go back and you listen to it, he is speaking in English with the hard Japanese accent.
Okay, so I need to listen to it again. Okay. Yeah, so
my nigga, he said that Madlib and Freddie Gibbs, bitch.
Freddie Gibbs, it's time for Bandana.
But now Beachy. Now I don't, you know he's saying Beachy, but I gotta listen to it again.
Yeah, man, go back and listen to it, and it's a hard accent, but he's actually talking to you. So go ahead. I want to go ahead and let you finish.
So after that was fun, and then it went into the freestyle, and I was like, oh, okay, I see where you're going. And then the half main, half cocaine. Yeah. And I was like, listen to this shit. Yeah. Listen. And everything. Niggas will never learn. Yeah. Niggas will never learn. And to me, the beat was good for Freddie. But Freddie burnt this motherfucker. He rolled this bitch like, and he had his little harmonizer. Niggas will never learn. And he was like, and he was just rolling on that. And I was like, oh, I see what's going. And I really enjoyed the whole shit. From that point, I was always preparing my mind. And then you sent me the Crime Pays, right? That was with all the zebras, and he had all those white people working for him.
Yeah.
But with that one, it was the beat. And then you gave me the sample, the true sample to that. But if you hear the sample on its own, you're kind of like, wow, this is really smooth. And then Freddie put his shit in there. I was like, wow, this is really fucking good. And this is really what like I said earlier, you want people to hear a guy how truly good he is. Right. This is how it happened for me, for Freddie Gibbs. Because of these beats and because he did it the way he did it, and Madlib said, you know what, this suits you better. Put this suit on. Okay. Hey, wait a minute. Take it out on the ends. Make it fit right. Right. How do you feel comfortable with that? Yeah. Okay, now walk out with it. And he walked out with these beats and these bitches. Oh my God. So, without going all through these, I have so many favorites on there. Crime Pays, I didn't really like that.
Instead of going favorites, because let's go your flaws. What did you see that was wrong? What was the cons? You know what I'm saying?
So the cons for me were the ones, and I don't remember them because I still listen to it regardless. Some of them that he was rapping faster, and he rapped faster than the beat was, so he almost rapped off beat because he was going a little too fast.
Right.
And I'm gonna remember which ones they were because I liked so much of the album. But that was a flaw that either they should have said, look, dude, you don't have to do that. You hitting it hard, you're going there, but let's try to keep it on track to keep the harmony and everything going from that. So that was a flaw on that. Honestly, I don't think there was anything that I didn't like about it. I listened to the whole thing. They may not. Now, what was it? I think Goddamn was okay. But it was okay. It wasn't bad. Do you throw it away? No, it went well with everything that he did. And this is why it went well. Because Madlib made sure that the beats went together. So it didn't even matter really what he was rapping about because the music was so arranged perfectly right behind each other that you was accustomed and comfortable for that. But biggest standout was that fucking Education, dude.
What?
My God. I didn't know, and I'm telling you why it was a standout. I never thought he would be able to rap with fucking Mos Def and Black Thought. I just didn't think that would even be right. Now, Black Thought and, Mos, well, y'all seen Bey, they rap together. But he came on the back end and hey, he held his own. And then he used that old, I think that was the Yeezy beat that he used on one of his albums. That beat on the Education.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to remember which song it was, but I was like, damn, that's the shit that Yeezy had on the motherfucker. One of the 4 albums that he put out last June and shit, you know what I mean?
Right.
So, I just didn't think that was gonna sound right. And even when Anderson .Paak, and I'm going with the features because those ones was like really, I didn't know if it would have went well. So I really kind of paid attention to that. And the Anderson .Paak was just a really nice little flow that he did. And I was like, okay. And the beat was, it almost sounded like a, what was that? Wu-Tang Clan beat.
Okay.
So if you listen to it, it sounds like a Wu-Tang beat, and he's hitting it just like he was with the Wu. And then Anderson .Paak came in with his little song and you know, verse and everything on there. So it was really cool, really, really cool. And then Madlib and Pusha T showed up on there. I like the fact that Killer Mike did a hook on there, as opposed to trying to rap on there. He did the hook, which was fine. And then Pusha T did his set on there, and I was like, wow, okay. Not a lot of features, but good enough to complement the whole album. And the and the cuts and again, the production on there complimented everybody.
Man, I popped this album, man, and I listened to it for a whole 7 days straight. Like, I popped it in, and I was like, damn, this is really good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I took it off. I put something else in. And I was like, nah, this ain't cutting it.
And you put it back on.
Put it back on. I'm just like, okay, I really like this. Tried to take it off. I was like, nope. I liked it so much that I started digging and looking for the samples.
Damn, dude. All right.
I was like, damn, man, this shit is really fucking good. This shit is really good. So then I went to go find that Free Spirit, the original sample from Crime Pays.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh my God, I love this song.
I know, right?
This song hard as hell.
I actually listened to the whole song because you sent it to me. Yeah.
Put that bitch on repeat. And in the middle of it, talking about crime pays, nigga,
Crime
crime pays.
pays.
Crime pays, nigga, crime pays. I'm like, wow. So I dig some more.
Right.
And then I listened to the Power Mauve sample, the original sample.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Which also has a sample in Fake Names.
Really?
So basically he used one song and he used 2 samples out of it for 2 separate songs.
Oh. God damn.
Yeah. So the song is called Cry of a Dreamer by the Silvers.
Yeah, the Silvers.
Yep, Leon Silvers III.
Yeah, so the Silvers was the play off the Jackson 5. So they supposed to try to be more famous than the Jackson 5, but the Silvers just never did it because they never had a Michael Jackson.
Right.
They just had the Silvers, and they was kind of like, nah, you cool, but you ain't Michael. You ain't the Jacksons.
So it really made me start digging. On the Giannis has a low-key James Brown, I'm Black and I'm Proud sample in there. And you can hear it after somebody tells you. You're like, oh, okay, there you go. But it also has an Indian song in there.
What?
And I went to find the sample of the Indian song. It's called Ashman Ki Nish. So I had to literally listen to the whole song.
Before you found it?
Yeah. Because he didn't use it like that. You know, and because I'm used to it. Well, I hear Crime Pays and I hear how he used damn near the whole song, like you said. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, damn, he stole his whole
Yeah,
shit.
He stole the whole goddamn thing.
Just retook it and just looped that bitch for him.
But it was so good, though. You needed to hear it. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Just to refresh your memory, like how good this track really is. You know, we do that with hip hop now. So, you know, it's one thing I'm gonna say. I'm probably gonna say a little bit later. It was timeless. You know, that is the definition of a timeless song.
Right.
Where you can turn it into a hip hop track and then you still feel the same way about it after you hear it and go back to the original sample.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You like, so I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to the Indian instrumentals because I went back to hear that and I finally found it and I was just like, wow, where did that come from?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, so for you telling me that, it's like, oh, so I'm definitely gonna go listen to the
because you know what he's listening to.
Right.
So when you hear some shit like that, you're kind of like, what made him think of that? You'd be like, dude, he's been doing this back in 2012 or 2007. Yeah, he knows it.
He also said he did all those beats on his iPad.
Yeah, that's going around the internet and shit. People's like, all I need is the internet. I mean, iPad. I could be just like Madlib. Nah, bro. Nah. No, you can't.
It don't work like that.
It don't work like that.
It don't work like that. You got to put some real time in.
Exactly.
You know, he was standing side by side with Jay Dilla. You know, Jay Dilla was fucking regurgitating beats. He was rocking beats out, man. Putting beats out like dope.
Yep.
For real.
And he'll sit there with a drum machine while he was in the hospital making beats. I think Donuts was done when he was in the hospital.
Man. So Madlib, you know, gets a lot of inspiration. I know he pulls a lot of inspiration from that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's no illusion to that. So I did have a couple downers. Okay. One of my downers was education. Really? And see, I'm going to take it to the lyrical side, dog.
Okay.
I enjoyed it, but the whole in education like messed me up because it was off.
No, they did that because that's the break. That's the break in the action. Because if you listen to what they rap about, and then it's an education, and then the next motherfucker come in, and they do the same thing, and they want a break. They didn't want a flow. They wanted to cut it off to say education. So it was they did it with a purpose, and that's how they kind of set it up. It wasn't a flow album. It was basically just segments. They had 3 segments of even though it was the same beat, it was, look, that's your turn, that's your turn, that's your turn, and go from that. So, but I'm not going to take it away from you because, it is what it is. Did you like Cataracts?
Hold on, man, let me finish.
I'm sorry. Damn.
So the other thing that I didn't like, because it was only 2 things that I didn't like.
Okay.
So yes, education I didn't like, and Giannis wasn't my favorite.
Really?
And it's so funny that you pointed out the 2 things that you liked that I really didn't like on this album.
Really? Okay.
Yes. I was fine with his fast rap because as a rapper, and you hearing somebody coming, that was like challenging, competitive. You wanted to jump on that motherfucker with him.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, damn, you coming with it. All right, I'm listening. You know what I'm saying? And he was coming. He was coming. Yeah, it was fast. I'll give you that. But as a rapper, hearing these beats, I be fumbling over these motherfuckers excited too. Man, these beats is phenomenal.
But if you in the studio, dude, you shouldn't be doing that.
Dog, these beats are phenomenal.
Yes.
Jay-Z would be scared to write on these beats. He wouldn't even write on them. No, I'm not going to say it. Look, so let's just say that there's a lot of rappers, and I'm not saying Jay-Z because I don't know, and I'm not going to do that to him. There's a lot of artists that would sound like shit on these phenomenal ass beats. And there's a lot of rappers who won't be able to do it in one take. He was coming out here, and that's why they could have been fast. Because he was literally doing these tracks in one take. That's why that first freestyle at the beginning he was like, all right, I'm done. I don't need to do no more.
Yeah, I'm done.
Let's go to the next one. Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that set the tone of the album. And if you're an artist and you're a rapper, and you know that sets the tone of an album, you know that he's running in his head like, give me the next one. Give me the next one.
Right.
So maybe he did. Maybe that was his slow one. You know, I'm not gonna say the whole album was one take, because the whole album was not one take.
Right.
I can guarantee that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I heard that. You know, he did. Let me go back to Madlib real quick. Madlib did a lot of copying and pasting on these production and his beats, but it was fucking cold. It was precise.
Yes.
It was very precise how he was blending and putting all of these little beats together.
That bitch was professional.
Putting these tracks together, and then slowly putting in the goddamn skits and shit, dog. Like all of that shit was blended in so fucking nice. Just on his part with if let's say the track arrangement, because I don't know if it was just Madlib, but the way they put this album together was almost perfect. I'm not gonna say perfect because I already had the perfect album this year. I can't get two perfect albums this year, so I'll just let you know that this is not a perfect album. So, but you know, going back to Freddie Gibbs, Freddie came in, man. He had a theme, he had a concept. You know, he was rapping about that dope shit, and you know, he was going hard. And then the beat will change, and then he's going harder. You know, like, and then they're still trying to keep these songs. These were 1.5-minute songs, mind you. There were songs that was chopped into. These 3-minute songs were actually 1.5-minute songs, 2.5-minute songs.
Right.
So it was probably like he did like 4 separate times on the album.
Yeah, that it was like multiple. So when you hear
Half
that,
Man, Half Cocaine was one.
When you hear that, you know a producer got a lot to do with that, because they want to put these beats on. If you're a producer and you love this and you want to put all your beats on there and you don't want to do about 20 tracks, you just cut it in half.
Right. And then not only that, you know, there's a lot of these rappers that's only putting down one track. I mean, one verse.
Yep.
You know, they don't want to rap long no more, or they understand the game now, and they know they don't need to rap that long no more.
So yeah, so they being kind of selective on that. But every time I hear a break in a rap or whatever, and they put another song on, I mean another beat on, I know the producer wanted to get his shit in. Because he was like, I like this. Fuck that. You're only going to rap 2 minutes on this. I'm going to break this motherfucker. I need you to rap on this. Because they're so excited. Because that's me. I love this beat. Damn, we ain't got enough time. I'll give you 2 minutes, but you're going to rap on this one right here. And they break it in half because they got to get their music on there. They got to get these beats they created on there without doing 20 and 30 tracks. Because that just doesn't make sense. That sometimes that overwhelms people. I think if it would have went long, we would have got it like, wow, I like this, but goddamn, it's kind of long and shit. This one wasn't.
Oh, that's where the game is going, Daddy. You don't see that? Come on, man.
I do, but I want to be able, like this. I love this. I love the track arrangement and the amount, because I can keep listening to this. Now, if it was 20-something or close to 30 tracks, I wouldn't be putting it on that much, because it's just too much, because I've heard a lot, and then some of it may not be that good, and then I'm kind of like, let me put on something else for a while, and then I can come back, and then I may not listen to the whole thing. But this one, because of the tracks and amount of tracks, you can keep hearing that.
The album is 46 minutes long. There's only 2 4-minute songs on the album, and one of them is Education, and the other one is Palmolive. Both of them are the features on the album.
Right. Everything else is 2 and 3 minutes long.
Everything else are 2 and 3 minutes.
That's true.
Because again, and then half of them are one verses or one verse, a verse and a half, and then it jumps to another song.
Right.
So again, and technically, with the 15 tracks on here, there's probably 19 tracks that you're listening to.
Okay.
At least an additional 4 tracks, because Half Man, Half Amazing was one, Fake Names was another one, and then it was, again, I can't remember off the top of my head. It might have been Situations. Yeah, I'm thinking Situations. And then
Cataracts.
Right. It's either Cataracts or Practice was another one.
Now, Practice is about 254. Cataracts is about like 339.
Right. So, yeah, that was the good part. They know that if I make a whole song, they're not gonna listen to it. So let me put a couple of them in there. And then also, if I make these couple of songs, let me also make let me make a short song. So let me make this short song, but let me just not keep it by itself. Let me put this other short song with it. Because he probably didn't even finish the song. He probably was like, okay, that's all I got from it. Okay, don't worry, we'll figure out what we're gonna do with it.
Right.
And then they was just like, okay, well, we'll put this verse and we'll blend it in with this verse that you only got one verse with, and we'll put it together and make it one song, but you're rapping on two different beats. Mm-hmm. That's the thing now. I mean, Travis Scott did it, so, you know, let's just go with the trend.
But Travis Scott makes his beats too. Mm-hmm. So he wants to put as much as he can to be like, oh, man, I want to do this. I put that on the backside of that. And it's like a 4 or 5 minute cut, and you'd be like, damn, that's a long song. Oh, he changed the beat on that bitch. Oh, right. Okay. And that's what you're hearing. And that what I'm saying is the people who produces wants more of that. They don't want to make a whole bunch of tracks. Even though, to your point, and you made a good point, even though to your point, if I'm only doing 2-minute tracks, then I can put 30 tracks on there. Mm-hmm. But when people see it, and I'm going with the visual, if I see 30 tracks, I'm going to automatically go, God damn. I didn't really notice that each track is 2 minutes, though. But if you get 15 tracks and 4 of them is like 5 minutes long, you don't really think about that until you're listening to it. And then when it breaks off into another beat, you're thinking
really
it's another, because you're thinking it's just the next song. And then it goes on, and then you just go on to the next one. So producers is like, look, I just got to get my beats in. I got to
give a lot of credit to the engineer. The engineer mixed and mastered it. Well, the engineer leveled the vocals and the beats to almost to the extreme accuracy. Extreme accuracy. And I say that because I'm listening to it. I'm turning it down, turning it up, turning it down, turning it up, turning it up. And I'm just like, wow. The leveling of the voice is not over the beat, because the beat is so hard, and you're expecting Gibbs to be overshadowed by the beat because the beat is so strong naturally. It's just naturally a strong beat, but his voice and the leveling of the voice is like, wow, this shit sounds good. You know, like, I really appreciated the fact that his vocals was leveled to the T.
Right.
On these beats. I had to give shots out to that, because that shit made this shit sound even more better than it really, I ain't gonna say than it was, but just the team worked really hard on this. You can tell there was a good team that worked here, and if I didn't see the footage, I wouldn't have known it started at 2017, but they've been working since 2017 on this product.
So they was perfecting it. But to your point, I think Madlib is such a great, if you hear how he does his own stuff instrumental wise, if you working with someone who likes to perfect their own shit, this is great. Now let me be critical real quick. Freddie Gibbs he doesn't deserve these beats. But guess what? No, he doesn't. You know, there's so many artists that I would love to have these goddamn beats, because I love the way they rap. He's good, but there's better rappers that I would say, damn, if they would have had that shit, this would be a classic. This
and they don't work hard. They don't work as hard.
No. Don't. I'm not taking anything that he doesn't really, you know, he got what he got, and he built on this. So guess what? It's his. He owns that. But when you hear such great fucking production, and to your point, the engineers and everything, because even sometimes when Freddie raps, he sort of mumbles a bit. You know, sometimes he'd be like, and he mumbles through that, but you don't, it doesn't stand out that he does that, because it's really balanced so well. And to your point, they allow shit to go on. So even though I said, yo, man, he just kind of went a little fast on that beat. They probably was like, go ahead, do your thing, dude. Just do your thing. We're going to leave it just like that, to your point. Whereby saying, nah, man, you went a little too fast for the beat. Do that one over. And no, they was like, let it go. Because this is what we want. And I think the agreement was on that. But if you listen to previous Madlib productions, he does this. He does a really good balancing job of how he does his production.
Okay.
So, and that's why if you hear both of those, that soundtrack one, the Beat Conductor, and then the In India one, Beat Conductor 3 and 4, you'll get it. You'll say, yeah, this dude is good. He takes his time. He makes sure this is really good. But think about this. This was years ago, and he did this shit on a goddamn iPad. This was damn good with a fucking iPad. But again, all he did was transition what he did to make things a lot easier. That's all.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I can tell it was a copy and paste. It was like an obvious copy and paste. It wasn't like a blend on a lot of these, but the copy and paste was so, the beats were so good. It was just like, bam. It was like, I don't need to copy. I don't need to blend it. This copy and paste is going to damn near sound like a blend.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So like he's very confident with his production. He really doesn't care how you feel. But more than that, he wanted to, I believe he had Freddie in his mind making these beats.
Right. Yep.
I don't feel like it was just like, I got a couple beats over here. It was just like, hey, we're going to make some beats, man. Prepare some beats for me. And he's like, oh, he going to sound good on this shit. Ooh, he going to sound good on this shit.
What do you think about this?
Ooh, you know what I'm saying? So the ones that he picked out, they. So I think that Madlib is a great artist for knowing the person that he wants to use his beats.
Yep.
That's the thing that you got to understand. It don't matter how good you think the artist is, it's how good the producer thinks the artist is.
Yeah, I said that years ago.
Right, because like you said, Guru, that nigga there, would have been the worst motherfucking rapper ever in Pop's eyes, goddamn.
Yep. But
I thought he was cool. I'm like, damn, you think he that bad? Is he? I gotta go back and listen to this nigga. I'm gonna go on Tidal and check this Guru Gangstar out right now.
Yeah, Guru has he has the voice that people get captivated by, but that motherfucker cannot rap. He was the first nursery rhyme kind of rapping ass motherfucker. But he had the voice and he had the best beats in the fucking world.
That's funny.
That's all that was and shit. So, but so I'm gonna go with this phenomenal shit got me at a straight 925 because there's nothing out right now that has the best balance for a release this year. This is one of the best balanced releases that I've heard in a while. And it's one guy with one producer. Not multiple shits to say, let's make this one work because you're a little better with this. Let me make this other guy because let me get some features to support what he has some features on him, but he was like, yeah, I'll throw y'all in here. We're cool. There's some people I hang with. That's cool. And I'm going to make it this way because Madlib probably said, let's do this way. Oh, this one, I want to put this in there because Anderson .Paak is the hot motherfucking singer that goes with the rappers anyway. But I really like the Killer Mike and the Pusha T shit because that was like a regular feature type cut. And I liked how they kind of blend that together. And then again, his beats were so fucking phenomenal. It didn't matter who was on there. They could have had some unknown motherfuckers on there and it still would have been good, bro. Because I'm listening to it and I put it back on and I was like, damn, that shit is cold. Anybody could have been on that motherfucker. Damn, this dude is good. And to your point, and what makes me excited because of what you said was dude, it's not just that one sample. He put a sample on top of that, and then he used the same song, but took a sample from the back end and put that in there, and there you go. And you will never know it unless you listen to the whole fucking song.
Mm-hmm.
And it reminds me of people who sample Bob James. Bob James has a song, Nautilus, and they took 4 different sections of the goddamn song and put it in there. But unless you heard the whole song, you don't know where it came from. And they took it from the one song. And then there's some people who took a portion that nobody used and then flipped that and it's like, where did that come from? That's the same goddamn song. It's just a portion in there that was different. And that's what makes good producers who sample say, what you don't expect, I found a gem. And this dude find gems in his shit.
Yeah. He's really good at finding like little parts of songs like, oh, I like that. Or he still checks out his vinyls. He still goes and digs for music. He definitely still goes and digs for music, man. I really appreciate that about him. You know, you could tell by that.
Yep.
And Freddie Gibbs said that when he seen Nipsey and J-Rock get nominees for a Grammy, that put the battery in his back.
Oh, really? Okay.
You know, he felt like, you know, if they could do it, man, you know, that gave him hope. You know, and this is definitely worth nominees. You know, strictly Madlib, but, you know, Freddie Gibbs stood his ground, man. He really held his own on this.
Yep.
Like, he told a great story. You know, he even told his issues about him and his stripper that he used to fuck with.
Yeah.
That was cool. I thought that was cool, man. I thought that was cool. I like Soul Right. I'm gonna get my soul right. You know, I think like he had some really, you believed him. You know, he had some nice little slick punchlines. You know, everything was original, man. Nothing sounded like he was waiting on somebody or he had some type of writers, man. Everything was good, man. I give it a 9.25 also.
Right. Okay.
I'm not going to give it anything more than that because I could have been better. No, I'm not worried about the could have been better. But I did feel some type of way about education, man. I was like, this is cool. This is cool. But dang, man, y'all should have made that education flow better to y'all verses. You know, y'all should have ended y'all verses a little more slick. You know, but Black Thought murdered that.
It
Black
was
Thought
intentional.
murdered that.
No, but you need to listen to y'all sing Bay though. If
he
really
did.
listen,
I see it. He was telling the story.
Yeah, I love the story better than Black Thought's. You know how he hit it.
Fire.
Yeah, because he does it really smooth, and you know sometimes I still can't call him Most. I don't give a damn. So when Most hits a story, he can put those little cliches and shit inside of there, but he makes you listen to the way he creates, and I love that. Now, Black Thought, if he wanted to, he could have gave you that, but he was like, no, I'm just giving you this. And guess what? You're gonna raise your hand and be like, thank you very much, because he's just that dude. You know what I mean? And again, I'm just saying, I knew what the producer wanted to happen. Look, let's just put the hook as a silent, and education. And then you jump in. Let's break it up. And then you have your own section and go from that. And that was intentional. You just didn't like it. There's nothing wrong with that, though. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, being a producer, and you got 2 big time fucking highlights on there, and you wanted to be able to say, put these 2 guys on there, stop them, don't roll them together, don't do anything. Let's just give them their own, and then you end it with whatever you do, because this is your album. You end it. Don't start it and then let those motherfuckers crush it on the back end. You end it. You take it. You heard what they said. Now it's your turn. And I like it a lot when they did that, like with Eminem. Eminem went through with Bobby Logic, and then he went back on the back end and say, I'll close it out for you. thanks for showing up, but this is my shit. And that was fucking cool. But yeah, well, I appreciate the 925. This is the leader of my pack right now. This is the leader. And I'm more biased because I'm a production guy, and this was just really overwhelming. And the fact when you gave me those samples, just to hear that made me like, wow, this is the shit that I love, because people can't really recognize the skill to be able to hear something and make it something different. Even though you heard it, I still made it different. And then when you hear it again, you kind of like, wow, look what he did with that shit. And that's what makes a good producer.
Look to the sky if you will see. I will Man, that shit is hard. That shit is so hard, man.
Yeah.
For me, I'll see it on the artist side, on the writer side. You know, for Freddie Gibbs, this definitely, you know, moved him up in the rankings. I say moved him up in the rankings because I kind of already had him on the charts of, you know, as a really a decent artist in these times.
Yeah,
you
me
know,
too.
So
I agree.
So for this album, you know, this is definitely almost flawless. You know, I will say that as an attribute, you know, as a bullet point, this is almost flawless.
Yep.
This is authentic production, and it don't get no more authentic than this. You know, and then and honestly though, this is a classic album. You know,
it can be.
This gave Freddie Gibbs a name for himself. You know, even though I've known him and, you know, I've been watching him, but I'm not important. This gave Freddie Gibbs the name that he knew he had and what he's been asking for. So, you know, and then like you said, looking at the reviews of this album, people are impressed.
Yes.
People are highly impressed.
But look at the what they did together. So you're right. It doesn't matter. If it was a Madlib album and he had some other rapper on there, they still would have said, what a good album. But they would have said, what a good album. They wouldn't have said, wow, this is one of the best albums I ever heard.
Right.
Because Freddie was on there and you was introduced to a guy that most people really was like, wow, he going, oh, this is a little gangster dude, but he's doing it so fucking well. Yeah, he been doing that, dude. You didn't know him? No, I don't know about no Freddie. He introduced himself because he had the best producer out, one of the best producers out there that wasn't from the South.
Right.
And you didn't hear that trap beat. This was something that made people go, damn, did you hear that? And then my man was rolling over. So they did this so well together that people, and to your point, I hope they remember when you hear this, this is one of the most unique releases of the year. There was good releases, but this is so unique with two talented people that this should be a great introduction to Freddie Gibbs to a lot of people who did not know him.
Yeah, this is definitely, that's what everybody's been saying, man. This is definitely, damn, man, this is one of the best albums of the year, man. Easily, man. I'm going through my homeboys' reviews, man. Everybody is giving it a same rate, man. Quality album, man. Yep. Quality piece of product. Freddie Gibbs only put elite people on here. Only put elite people. I'm not even a big fan of Killer Mike and his raps anymore.
Right.
But you rock with him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I always take heed to that. I love me some Pusha T. The album was really good last year.
Yeah, he did a good release.
Black Thought is a legend, and it's hard to get Mos Def to do anything.
Yep.
So
that's true.
For you to pull all that off and then have a legend producer, you know, that's just like Royce da 5'9" having DJ Premier produce all of his music. Yep. You know, so, you know, he's up there. Freddie Gibbs is up there with him. You know, he can always drop another album. His next Madlib album it's not gonna be a classic, but it'll sell out. You know, everybody will know that, at least I'm gonna have some real hot production.
But it depends on, because he may do another release with somebody again. Because there's people lined up who want a Madlib beat or a Madlib collaboration. They're lined up.
Oh yeah. This
he may just say
off his shoulders. This really this rebirthed Madlib.
Mm-hmm.
This moved Freddie up in the rank, and it rebirthed Madlib easily. No question about it. So I'm still a huge Freddie Gibbs fan, man. I love it, man. I follow his page. His IG page is hilarious. And Madlib, man, I just think that he is. There's a lot of great producers out there. I just think he's one of the most elite.
Yep.
He's definitely one of the best, man. One of the best.
And I'm hoping people will know that and don't slide him out of the way because they want to hear these trap or whatever they used to listening to. Because again, there's music that's out, and our next one coming up is Lil Nas X, and that's music on there. It's totally different. It's a modern melody type shit, and that's where things is going. But if you appreciate music, you will say, what a great rapper, what a great producer, what a great release. That's what this is.
Yeah. He's qualified as great. Yep, you can't go no less than this.
Nope.
But Fetty was great too.
That's what I'm saying. What a great rapper, what a great producer, what a great release. You're going to have to recognize all three because it went together. Mm-hmm. You can't take anything away from this. And I haven't had an album that I didn't go, well, I did like it, but, the other two down here, I can't even say that. There's nothing right there that I can just narrow down and say, throw that one out. There's some that I don't like no more than the other, but I'm going to listen to it anyway because the production is so fucking well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Ain't nothing beating out this. Ain't nothing beating this out.
Absolutely.
Not right now.
Yep.
Not right now. Considering what came out in the first half on hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, man. They ain't. I mean, Jim Jones again used only heat makers on his, and his would be a close second. His would be a close second because of his credibility and because of his longevity in the game, But lyrically, he's not touching Freddie Gibbs.
Wow.
So this definitely gets over the Jim Jones, but Jim Jones is nomination. But Freddie Gibbs has been in the West for some time, but he's from Indiana. Would he be classified as East rapper?
Nah, he Midwest. You got a lot of Midwest in like the Chicago, and you got the Detroit rappers.
Right, but he's been in California for a while, man.
Yeah, but if he's claiming Indiana, then he's one of them. Okay. But if he's been in California, and he's been in Texas too, hasn't he?
No. Gibbs is a California native, pretty much, man. He's been in California for, I would say, since I've known him, he's been there.
Okay. Yeah, but he claimed Indiana because that's where he started, and you know how that goes. But
but he got to move his family back to a nice place, man.
There you go. You better. You better. Anywho, good review, bro. Good review. Really excited by this one. So it just skyrocketed to the top. You got anything else, brother?
Nah, man, nothing else, man. Just please make sure y'all go check out my show. With that being said, it is on. You can definitely go on YouTube to check it out. WDBS Hip Hop. Check that out. Or with that being said, you'll definitely find it faster on WDBS. You can go on IG, WDBS Hip Hop. And IG, you can check it out. Click on the link on the bio. Go right to it. Check out all the videos. And make sure you go double check me out on Bougie Brother Sean. That's BOUGIE Brother Sean on IG. I got you all the most updated stuff. I got you all the reviews on the hottest with music. I'm just pretty much that guy. So holla at me.
Let's go. Bougie Black Brother, and Bougie Black Bro on IG as well as Twitter. But bougieblackbrother.com is the website. Go there, see the downloads for the podcast and every podcast downloads. You can check it out. It is no doubt you can get it. We're going to keep active. We're going to keep it back up, and hopefully we get some hotter stuff coming out so we can feel good about our reviews as opposed to just reviewing what's coming out. But really pleased this week, and we appreciate you stopping by, and keep us dropping a note in, likes, dislikes, because we building on our award show. So really want to get your comments on what you're thinking about this year, because you kind of got what we thought. So really would love to hear from you. Other than that, Car Wax is a Sunday. Friday's wine. Sunday is the music. So check us out, and we appreciate you, and we'll see you next time on Car Wax. Peace.
Peace.